Good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to talk to you about why I still use the original EOS M50. Before we get started, if you could do me a favor and please like and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that little notification bell. We would greatly appreciate it. So I'm still fairly new at this YouTube thing. In fact, if you go take a look back just 7 or 8 months ago at the difference in quality of our video and our audio content, you'll find that I'm still learning quite a bit. Now, I'm not saying that this content here is great or I'm some kind of an expert. I can just speak from my personal experiences on the matter. Now, I know with these videos where you're talking about gear and whatnot, I should have the camera with me so you can actually see it, but I'm actually shooting with the camera right now. So this picture quality is with the original EOS M50. All right, so let's go ahead. I want to break down for you the setup I was using for this opening shot. So I've got this key light right here. I think it was 2 lights for like 60 bucks on Amazon. And look down in the description, I'll list all of the products I'm talking about right here. But I ordered this probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now. It actually came with 2 of these soft boxes and lights, and it was really inexpensive. Here I've got this Takstar microphone. I think it's 25 bucks. I've got an extra long 3.5 millimeter cable so I can just plug directly into the camera from all over the place. Inexpensive little boom arm right here that I got off Amazon. It's Amazon Basics mic stand. Sorry about the kids' toys in the background there. So I do have this tripod back here. Again, tripod I think was 30 bucks. It's a Ravelli, I believe, and I'll link that below. You can find that on Amazon. Now over here, I was using this Gorilla Pod right here. Probably the most expensive thing I've shown you so far. And I had it sitting on the end of the desk right here, and that's how we got the opening shot. All right, so let's run down a list of pros and cons here. So in my opinion, the M50 with this lens right here, which is a kit lens, the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens, you can produce a really, really good picture with. Depends on what you're looking for. The 15 millimeter, this lens actually is the one that I used for the opening shot right over here. So it gives you a 15 millimeter. It's nice close up, great for vlogging. You do have the flexibility to run all the way up to 45 millimeters, which if you're outdoors vlogging and you want to flip the camera around and show somebody something, or you want to film a friend or something like that, could be useful. I've used it quite a bit. Now, also, this lens has built-in image stabilization, which is really, really nice when you're walking, especially if you don't have a gimbal, if you're using a Gorilla Pod or another inexpensive handheld tripod. The image stabilization in this, combined with what's in the camera, produces a acceptable image. Now, the lens I'm using right now is the Cannon EOS M50 32mm f1.4 STM lens. Now, this does not have image stabilization. I would not use this if I was out walking around and vlogging. I've tried, and the camera stabilization just cannot compensate for the lack of image stabilization in the lens. But right now, having it on a tripod, filming me, gives you that nice shallow depth of field, that nice blurry background. A lot of people like that look. I love that look where it looks like you're pasted in. So a couple of keys to getting that look. And you know what? This first part here is good even if you're using the kit lens. Image quality is so much about lighting. Have a good key light. It's not necessary. You can post yourself in front of a window, but it's nice on a cloudy day. You can control what your image looks like. You're not reliant on the weather to do so. I love the way natural lighting looks, and I use it when possible, but having a key light is going to give you the best possible image quality, in my opinion. Secondly, if we weren't filming in the daytime right now, to get that pasted in look, that nice blurry background, that shallow depth of field, I would also have a hair light right over here. So I'd actually have a light kind of giving me an outline on the side of my head and the back of me, making it look, creating more depth, making it look more like I'm just slapped in right to the front of that background there. The 32 millimeter has its downsides. Like you saw how big, you almost got a much fuller picture of me over here using the 15 millimeter. The 32 millimeter, I'm roughly the same distance away, and it's just a much tighter image. That's a pretty big difference between 15 and 32. And also, I cannot remember, if you do, please comment down below, what the f-stop is on this 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens. I'm sure I could also look it up there. But this lens is great. Not going to handle the light as well as the more expensive 32 millimeter f1.4. That's a $500 lens. In my opinion, it handles light really, really well. Just because it can capture a wider range of it, I'm assuming. I am by no means a camera expert. But that was the first, actually it was the second additional lens I purchased to the for the M50, and this is the picture quality I'm able to get by using that lens. Kit lens, great, worked for a really, really long time. I still use it on a lot of things, especially if I'm walking around vlogging. However, I prefer the 32 millimeters look to the kit lens. All right, so let's talk about the first additional lens I bought. I bought this Yongnuo digital. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I tried my best to pronounce it. Digital 50 millimeter. I believe it's a f1.8 lens. I bought it for the wrong camera, so I had to get a Viltrox mount adapter, which is this back part right here. Let me see here. So here's the actual lens. Here's the mount adapter. I wanted a mount adapter anyway, and it opens me up to a whole bunch of more Cannon lenses by getting the, it was the EF to EOS M mount adapter. But this Yongnuo 50 millimeter f1.8, I primarily got this for photography. It does have image stabilization, so if I needed to use it in a pinch, I could. But I like having a 50 millimeter with a shallow depth of field. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry, this is actually a 52 millimeter. If I'm not mistaken, due to the crop, because of the sensor size on the Canon, this is actually acting more like a 100 millimeter lens. If you know, again, please comment down below. In my personal opinion, EOS M50 with the kit lens, you're going to be golden. If you need to, or you're going to upgrade to a second lens, if you're looking for something that handles light a little bit better, it give you a, the more blurry background, the shallow depth of field, that EFM 32 millimeter f1.4 is certainly worth saving up for. I know it's it's 479 bucks. You can buy the entire camera for $699, and probably less expensive if you're a good bargain hunter. But the lens gives you a, in my opinion, phenomenal picture quality. Now, let's talk about 4K and 1080p. So I don't use the EOS M50 in 4K anymore. The crop was too much for me. And from my understanding, just due to the size of the sensor, when you go to 4K, the camera has to punch in the image more. It's actually giving you just a smaller place that it can display. So if you were to, draw a square inside this image, the 4K is going to punch into that. I'm just not a huge fan. You also lose dual pixel autofocus. I think you can create a rock solid 1080p image, have your dual pixel autofocus, which I'm using right now. I can look right at this little sensor here, and it's tracking my face no matter where I move. I can stand up, sit back down, and it acquires my face really, really quickly. Love the dual pixel autofocus, and you can produce a rock solid HD image with the 1080p. So I do take tons of photos with the M50. It produces excellent images. Let me show you a couple right now. So I've been working on doing some product photography, and I was just grabbing things around my house to play with to see what kind of image I can produce. So there's a pair of boots that I did. It just, like I said, it rock solid, crisp, clear, really, really good images. Let's go back here. So this is a photo I took just in my town one morning. I was out driving around looking for things to take pictures of, and I turned around and had the mountain in the background, and I snapped this photo. Turned out great. And this is just with the EOS M50, and with this one I was actually using this lens, the 32mm f1.4. I was actually also using that for the first image of the boots that I showed you. So here, this is again another photo I took, 32mm f1.4 here in town. But I mean, you could just see how crisp and clear and good of a image the M50 is capable of producing. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with it, especially at the price range. All right, so to wrap this up, if you give the M50 some rock solid light and you have the kit lens, you can, like I said, I believe that we wound up getting the M50 with the kit lens for like $700. All right, looking for the blurry background. You need to get an f1.4 or an f1.8 lens for the M50. It'll give you that blurry background. You need to have a light. You need to have a hair light if the room is darker. So a little light back over here over the corner. You're still going to be coming in at under $1,500. I'm willing to bet you can still come in under $1,500 even by throwing an inexpensive tripod, an inexpensive microphone, an inexpensive mic stand, and a couple of cables in the mix. And you're going to be able to produce something that looks similar to this here. Maybe you have a better background than I have. This is literally my living room, and we just decorated for Halloween, so that's why we got those orange lights back there. But M50, still a solid camera. Would I like to have options that more expensive cameras have? 100%. I'm not there yet though. I'm still learning, and this is still a good camera for me until I get to the point where I run up into its limitations and I need to get something better to capture, you know, my vision, what I want my my quality to look like. But I'm still able to make improvements to that quality by learning more and applying these things, you know, through watching, you know, YouTube videos. Comment down below. Are you using different lenses? Are you considering buying the M50? Did you decide not to go with the M50? Facebook.com/The Bob and Liz Show, bobandlizshow.com, and I believe it's Instagram.com/The Bob and Liz Show. All the links will be down below as well. And if you like the content I'm putting out, please like and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell as well. Thank you guys very much, and we'll catch you next time.